What's up, Ravens fans? Before we get into today's 5 late-round draft sleepers that Baltimore could target, there was some news that ended up happening, so I wanted to hit it on the head right to start this show off. Miles Boykin has been released, a third-round pick in the 2019 draft. From a career standpoint, he's played in 40 games, had 33 grabs, 470 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now, I have a goal set for this YouTube channel, and when I come into work every day, I meet with producers, and they say, hey, we got to do certain things for certain channels. That way, we can continue to make some videos for you guys. So I want to get to 5,000 subscribers on this channel before the NFL draft. You got 10 days to do it. We're currently at 4,425. If you're looking for news and rumors like you just saw early on here, and if you want more stuff around the draft, then hit that subscribe button and let's get to 5K. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to be looking at the top draft sleepers for the Baltimore Ravens. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, ready to walk you through all these names, and they're not ranked in any particular order, so just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. What we're going to go ahead and look at first are the draft picks that Baltimore has, and when I think of late round sleeper, I think of players that fall down the board that are going to be able to help you, or in terms of good value picks. Now, sure, you got a lot of picks in round 4, but you don't have anything in round 5. And if one of these players falls to round 7, well, then you're going to be going ahead and jumping for joy. So what I want you to do right now is like the video. If you have a favorite sleeper, and then go ahead and put them down in the comments, because when I think of when teams take that step, right, or if a team out of nowhere starts performing a lot better than what they thought, it's usually because a player that they were able to get into round 4, maybe round 5, 6, 7, outperforms his draft capital and turns into a hell of a player. So if you could, like the video and give me a favorite sleeper down in the comments. First player coming up here is Luke Fortner, who is the center out of Kentucky. And if you want a tough player, that's what you're going to get here out of Fortner. And I personally believe if you look at a lot of the center prospects, Tyler Linderbaum's in his own category. So I'm not even going to put Linderbaum in this thing. Then you can debate whether or not Fortner is in the next second tier, third tier. But I'm going to go to say he's the third best center prospect at 6'6", 300 pounds. One of the biggest needs right now for Baltimore is finding a brand new replacement for Boozman, who right now you got Patrick McCarry. Sorry, don't really think that that's the option you want to go. One of the biggest eyesores on this Ravens offensive line is the center position, and it's one of the positions that you need to address. Hopefully Ronnie Stanley can stay healthy. Ben Cleveland's a solid player there. Kevin Zeitler, you went out, you got Morgan Moses on a 3-year deal. But you're going to try to run the football. Go out and get somebody that's nasty. And Fortner potentially in round 4, maybe even round 5 if he falls that far. Don't think it's going to happen. Definitely someone to keep on your radar. Next player here is Neil Farrell Jr., and he's just a big old body defensive tackle for the LSU Tigers. And what I want for my defensive players in today's world is still I want some flexibility. 2-gapping nose tackle who's just physical, and he's just a mean guy, and he's somebody who is going to fit exactly what a lot of Baltimore Raven fans out there like. 45 tackles last season. He ended up having 2 sacks as well. Somebody who could learn a lot behind somebody like Calais Campbell. And when you're talking about big body guys, they get tired. Calais, over 36 years old. He's getting older. Father time's catching up. You then throw in Farrell Jr., who can hopefully stop the running game of Cleveland, stop the running game of Pittsburgh, slow down the Bengals offense. That's what you're looking for here in a late round sleeper. So now here's your opportunity, y'all. Should the Ravens trade up, or do they keep all of their picks? If you think that they should go ahead and trade up, because if one of these players does slide, when you have that many 4th rounders, as far as I'm concerned, you can get ballsy. You can go ahead and you can make a lot of stuff happen. Or if you're like, you know what, man, I think they should keep their picks, go ahead and type K. Next player coming up here is Mario Goodrich, and he's the cornerback from Clemson. This is another big-time need that this Baltimore team has. Goodrich, to me, is going to be a solid cornerback 2, cornerback 3, which is okay for Baltimore because you have Marlon Humphrey. Not only is Goodrich a physical player who definitely is not afraid to tackle by any means, and there's a lot of corners out there that tackle, but then there's very few who look to tackle, and that's what you're going to get out of Goodrich. He was a Clemson team captain. I always like to see that. Zone coverage corner, and he is, I'll say, a below-average athlete for the cornerback position. However, if you put him on the field with all the other talent that Baltimore has on defense, and then on the opposing side is Humphrey, you're going to let Goodrich do what he does best. And it's just play back in his zone, sit back there, not do anything too crazy. Would be a good Marcus Peters replacement. And at 6 foot, 190 pounds, let him work with some good coaches. 42 tackles last season, 2 picks, 9 pass breakups. I definitely think there would be a little bit more hype around him and around a lot of the other Clemson defensive players if that offense could have played better. So Goodrich, definitely a player to keep in mind in round 4. If you guys want the best YouTube coverage for the NFL draft, go ahead and subscribe over on Chat Sports. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. We're going to be live all 3 days, all 7 rounds. You're going to get the picks on our YouTube channel before they're going to be on television. Plus, we're going to have a lot of fun, man, and I love being able to cover the draft. There's nobody that does more homework around the draft. I know we talk a lot about Mel Kiper, Todd McShay. There's nobody that does more homework for the draft than Tom Downey, and he's going to be taking you guys through every single pick. In fact, if he doesn't know a player, we make him drink. That's how much homework we make him do. So it's youtube.com/chatsportstv. That link's going to be available for y'all in the comments and in the description of today's video. Let's go to one of my next prospects, and this is actually one of my favorite prospects in the draft, and this is going to be somebody who you look for at that round 6 pick. I don't think I would take him in round 4, but if he's available in round 6, I would consider it, and it's Demarco Jackson, the linebacker out of Appalachian State. He can play sideline to sideline, and he can capitalize in space as a blitzer. No doubt, from an NFL standpoint, he is undersized because size, strength, it's going to be a concern when he's going to be going up against NFL offensive linemen. Heck, even good tight ends that can block, he might struggle a little bit. But you know what? Coverage, also a little bit of a concern. And when I really think about in the late rounds, what are you looking for? He's an athletic, fast linebacker. Let's just say worst case scenario, he turns into a good special teams player. And I get it. Special teams at times is an unsexy position. But you know what? I really, truly believe teams that win the Super Bowl, teams that can compete at a high level, they're good on offense, they're good on defense, and they're good on special teams. If Jackson can live up to the hype or can live up to high expectations, going to a good organization that's always been able to do very good with linebackers, then okay, I'm with the pick. Worst case, you got a good gunner, you got a good linebacker that can play special teams. So now here's my next question, guys, coming up here on today's show. I want you to list the biggest needs for the Ravens in this year's draft. Is it still going out, finding an interior offensive lineman? Is it a wide receiver? Is it another running back? I mean, it can be whatever the heck you guys want it to be. I'm going to be looking, so let me know. I know some of y'all are probably going to go ahead and type edge, which is the next position that we're going to go here, and it's Dominique Robinson. And I love this kid's athletic ability, the edge rusher out of Miami, Ohio, and as some people would say, the real Miami. 28 tackles last season, 8.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 0 forced fumbles. This is in 12 games for the Redhawks last year. And if you want somebody, again, who's got this athletic, long, lanky build, can still grow into his body, I think it makes a lot of sense for Baltimore. And if I was Robinson, dude, I would love to be able to come over to the Baltimore Ravens. So here's one more time, guys, 5 NFL draft sleepers to just write down their names, keep in mind, track them. Let me know what you're thinking. So we had Luke Fortner, Neil Farrell Jr., Mario Goodrich, Demarco Jackson, and then Dominique Robinson. Out of that list, what I want you to do is pick your favorite draft sleeper from our list. Is it Fortner? Is it Farrell? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Out of the 5 names that I provided, who's your favorite on the list?